those type of things just really help me lock in more than ever.
It really doesn't matter, but I've been as locked in as I've ever been in my career.
Good morning, you beautiful people. Bad Beats Nation, locksmiths, everybody that's here. Look at us. We're here on the podcast. I'm representing the unofficial, official Locked In merch, as well as Spazz. It's the video debut. How can you not be excited? Can't you see our beautiful faces here? Spazz is obviously celebrating the holiday here. It is 4/20 Tuesday, and man, we got a lot to get into. So I'm not going to waste too much time. The big thing that, again, I wanted to talk about the listeners here real quickly is, again, this is the video debut. Spazz, talk to the listeners and potential viewers where we can find this podcast.
Yeah, we can find this podcast. The video streaming is going to be on YouTube at the Bad Beats Podcast. We will leave the link in the description. And as far as the audio, it's going to be on all the platforms it's previously been. We will leave the YouTube link in the description, but we also have a very exciting announcement. We do have a hotline, and applause, you can take applause now or later, but I'm going to give you guys the number, and I will also leave it in the description and tweet it out. If you want to call any questions, it doesn't have to be sports related, anything, questions, comments, concerns, whatever you're thinking about, leave us a call at 702-530-6381. And like my co-host said, it is the holidays. I'm blazing up for us. And I think we got a very interesting show. First of all, I just want to say RIP Bernie Madoff. Is there any coincidence the Mets have been doing good since he passed away?
Yeah, this is actually a bizarre thing that happened in the last couple of days. Obviously Bernie takes the dirt nap and the Mets come to life. So I think maybe that was the curse of Bernie Madoff. I know they're always big with the hedge fund guys. So maybe the Mets are going to win the World Series. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but as you guys can see, I got it's actually a real background. I'm actually with McGregor right now. I'm just going to take that from you. No, I'm just kidding. It's obviously a fake background here, but again, just celebrating the holidays here. And, there's one thing that I wanted to talk about with you, Spaz, that I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about. And I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to call it for what it is. You love baseball. You love baseball. You talk so much shit about baseball for so long. But I think you finally like baseball. Can you confirm this?
Well, I mean, the YouTube viewers can confirm. If you're watching this, I'm wearing a Memphis Redbirds hat, AAA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. Baseball's really grown on me for a lot of things. I was one of those people who always talk shit on it. I'm a big basketball fan. It's because I like exciting sports. But the thing that's grown on me about baseball is they're all trolls. All the fans are wild. The Yankees fans, it was classless. They were throwing baseballs and shit on the field because they were losing the other day. But that's the type of stuff that makes it interesting for me.
Yeah, no, and especially too, just this year, it just feels like there's just a different atmosphere going on. And I'm going to come clean because I talked about I had this solo episode last week, and I said a lot of weird things. We're not going to repeat those things. But, it was just to the tune of the Astros are maybe the greatest team in baseball. Since then, they've gone 1-5. And then I clowned Oakland a little bit, saying, we know Oakland, they're trash. They're not doing what they're supposed to be. As soon as that happens, they're 5-1 since. I think they're on right now. They're beating the Twins. Yeah. And they just swept the Tigers. And then going back to the Astros, super weird because the Astros got swept by the Tigers. So I think that's my fault. I think I kind of spoke that one into existence. So hopefully on the next podcast, it's going to be reversed. Actually, not hopefully, because fuck the Astros. They're cheaters. Thanks. But take us away on some baseball talk. You've been really, talking my ear off on some baseball stuff. So talk to the listeners and the viewers. What's been going through your head?
Yeah, so Dodgers, hottest team in baseball. I watched the game last night against the Mariners. I was absolutely blown away from the fact that the game was at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, but the Dodgers fans completely took over that stadium. They had a full home field advantage. And, part of that is a franchise like the Dodgers being so iconic, and there's so many bandwagon fans. The other part's, the World Series championship last year. But overall, for a team like Seattle to have, there's limited capacity, so keep that in mind. But to have your stadium overtaken by Dodgers fans, and then while the Mariners did win that game, it was just insane because every single every single at bat was "Let's go Yankees," and they were booing the Mariners. I love that type of baseball.
Yeah, and you said "Let's go Yankees." I don't know if that was like actually happening or
Oh,
if
I'm
you meant
high.
Dodgers
I'm
on
high. Yeah, you can see me
that.
fucking smoking a ball. But speaking of the Yankees, my problem with the Yankees is their roster. So they're 5-9 or 5-10, I believe. It's the worst start since 1997. They're five
Yeah,
and
dead
ten.
dead last in the American League, by the way, too.
Yeah, and I put some money on them to win the AL East, but they finished. So 1997, they had a worse start than 5-10, but they finished 96 and 66 that year. I think they're going to be fine, but my problem with the Yankees is their roster is full of big strikeout guys. While they could be hitting home runs, most of them are big strikeout guys, and I just think that's inconsistent. I don't really care for their pitching staff. Everyone's been dick riding them all preseason, and now it's just like they're not even meeting expectations.
Yeah, and that's been the problem. A lot of people like, oh, Aaron Judge, Aaron Judge. People don't realize Aaron Judge is a fucking strikeout machine. Yeah, he's got the power of an elephant, but the guy's a fucking he strikes out all the time. They're actually playing right now. They're in bottom of the fourth against the Braves. And keep in mind, the Braves don't have Acuna for this series, or it looks like it's going to be for the entire series. And yeah, bottom fourth right now. Yankees have one hit. They're down 1-0. The score of this game could very well be 1-0. Braves are going to win this thing. But yeah, again, Yankees are kind of a weird team. They're going to pick it up, right? I mean, everyone's got to imagine the Yankees are going to pick this thing up at the trade deadline. They'll probably grab everybody who's good, like they do every year, and then blow it in the playoffs. But again, going back to the Dodgers, because that series against the Padres, come on, tell me that was not electric. I mean, that was, and we're not even out of April yet, and this is one of the best series in baseball. I just had like a vision where you imagine the Dodgers and the Padres playing late into October, and really fighting for a postseason spot, because obviously they're in the same division there. And I mean, it's going to be crazy. Hopefully, full fans by then. I'm excited for it. They actually have a double. Actually, I don't know what that's all about, but they actually have another series here with the Padres starting on Thursday. So again, exciting things going around in the baseball league. But big thing for you, the Yankee or for the Eagles fan, I see you got the Eagles flag hung up. Tell me about the fallen soldier here with EDP. I don't know what's going on. I don't really, want to assume too much, but he's in some hot water, isn't he?
EDP is in a lot of hot water. This guy's a full-blown pedophile, and a lot of people have been following the story for like 9 months now, because for a long time people have been accusing EDP of being a pedophile. He's always denied it. At one point last month, even he got caught DMing a 14-year-old girl, and he said, "Oh, I was just trolling her back because I thought it was a fan of me trolling me, so I was just trolling her." Most of the Eagles fans bought it. I didn't. I do not fuck with pedophiles. I think they should be shot on sight. But anyway, this amateur wannabe Chris Hansen YouTube group called Predator Poachers V6 did a investigation with a female they hired to be a decoy 13-year-old girl. She might have been 13,
No
14, or
way.
15. I'm pretty sure she was 13. And they asked him, they were DMing for about 6 to 7 days. They had several hundred messages. Some of the messages, if you want me to just read some, they are the most cringe things. Keep in mind, he knew the entire time she was 13. He said, "Kiss your daddy goodnight, sleep tight, princess, LOL," and sent him a selfie of him half naked to what he believes is a 13-year-old
Jeez.
girl. So these guys show up to meet up with him in Bakersfield, California, where he resides. He admitted the whole thing on camera. The entire video is coming out, but YouTube hasn't cleared it yet because there's been a lot of graphic content in the video, so they got to edit it. But this guy's a full-blown pedophile. RIP EDP.
Jeez, yeah. There's a lot going on there, and I was just looking up too. Anytime I see any of his little videos or whatever, I thought he was like 49. I thought this guy was a full-grown man. He is still a full-grown man. He's 29 years old, but damn, like this guy he's in it. He's in it for sure. Buddy is down horrendously. I mean, if you're really talking to 13-year-olds like that, that is brutal. I mean, has he said anything publicly on his Twitter or Instagram, anything right now?
No, he went Instagram live. So this story has been developing for like a week, and people have been leaking that he was going to get popped. He went on Instagram live, ended it abruptly, but he's went ghost on all social media, hasn't been seen since this incident. The thing is, EDP 445, we always knew, we thought what his name stands for, but it was actually eat that prison food. And 445, if you add a 445, that's the age of the girls he texts.
Oh no. Come on, don't
You
do
got
him
caught in
like that.
4K, man. You know who else got caught in 4K though? And I know you
What?
saw this, Zack Hample.
Oh yeah, that was. And so again, we've actually talked about this off the podcast a little bit. We have differing opinions of the guy. I mean, I like the guy. I've always liked the guy. He's a little weird. I
A
mean, there's no
little.
question the guy's a little weird. Honestly, if the roles were reversed and you told me Zack Hample got caught texting a 13-year-old, I'd be like, hey, yeah, that probably happened, but not EDP. But yeah, no, Zack Hample, I like the guy, but definitely took a huge spill uh in the. I think that was what the Philly. Who were the Phillies playing? It was in the Phillies game, right?
Giants. Yep.
Yeah,
Philly
Phillies
Giants.
Giants went for the home run ball and just absolutely wiped out. And you hate the guy, right? So you're
Yes.
probably loving this.
Yeah, let me break down this guy real quick. So this is my problem with the guy. If you're a grown ass man bringing a baseball glove, keep in mind this guy has no kids. It's one thing if you have, a kid, a young son
Yeah.
or something, that's different. You're a grown ass man, dog, bringing a baseball glove to a game. And the thing is, he catches so many baseballs. My biggest problem was when he caught, it was Jeter, A-Rod's, whoever the fuck, 3,000th hit. I think it was like Derek Jeter, 3,000th hit.
It was A-Rod. Yeah, it was A-Rod's 3,000th hit and it was a home run.
Yeah, and he caught that and like wouldn't give it back. That motherfucker needs to be kicked out of all the games. We do not need people like him in baseball.
Yeah, and I can see the hate. And so obviously social media was having a field day when he went down. But geez, oh Pete, the poor guy. I don't want to say the poor guy because when we talk about poor guys right now, it's EDP, but went down hard. He didn't even get the ball, right? The ball trickled away from him. He didn't even
Yeah,
get
he
the home
didn't even
run
get the
ball, did he?
ball. He did not
Oh
get the ball,
man.
but everyone should just keep in mind what I said, a grain of salt with that, because I don't know anything about baseball.
Hey, you're getting there. You're definitely getting there. But one thing that I wanted to talk about before we actually talk a little bit about NFL here, we don't have a ton to cover, but our next episode later this week, probably going to be Thursday or Friday, we are going into all things NFL draft. This is the NFL draft special. We're going to have who we think's going first. And well, obviously first, second, third. Everyone knows who's going first. We're going to have some sleepers. We're gonna have it all. So definitely keep an eye out for the draft episode. We're gonna give you guys some picks, some locks for that as well. So keep an eye out for that. But I guess the little news that we have elsewhere is just the Browns. The Browns picked up Jadeveon Clowney. That defense, in my opinion, is going to be serious. I'm a Brownie, not really. I love the Browns, but I'm a Lions fan, unfortunately. But yeah, Browns picked up Jadeveon Clowney. Kind of had an off year last year, but I think the Browns are going to be great. Do you think the Browns make a chance or make a run to the Super Bowl this year?
No, not a run of the Super Bowl. I still think Baker Mayfield's a question mark. I think he's a top 15 quarterback. But with that being said, that doesn't mean he's an elite lights out guy who can win you a Super Bowl. My other problem with the Browns is, yeah, you guys blew out the Steelers in the first round. Yeah, that was impressive, but Clowney is a little overrated. You still need some help on overall on defense, I think, but Baker is just a big question mark to me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting year. But again, I don't want to talk too much about NFL right now just because we're going to talk your guys' ear off on the next episode about the draft. But yeah, kind of quiet right now within the NFL up until the draft. So there's going to be a lot there. Let's shift it over to the NBA, the actual most boring sport of all time, and kind of talk to me about what's been going on in that league.
Yeah, so you're the villain of this show because the NBA is probably the most popular sport, and we could do a numbers debate if you really want to do that someday.
Are we talking about? Well, yeah, it is the
NBA
most
versus
popular
MLB.
sport
How
outside
about we do
real
that
sports.
next episode? So next episode's
What?
a draft special, just so everybody knows. But at the end, we're going to just have a 5-minute debate why the NBA is greater than baseball by the numbers. I'm only bringing
I like it.
back. But anyway, what's going on in the NBA? The Knicks see another thing about Bernie Madoff. Since now that he's dead, all the New York teams are doing good, except for the Yankees. But the Knicks are on a 6-game win streak. They're first since Linsanity. It's the first time since 2010.
Damn.
Yeah, first time in about 11 years. No, I'm wrong. About 10 or 9 years that they've had a 6-game win streak, and they're figuring out Julius Randle's just really been going off. Steph Curry's been going off. He's averaging about 42 in the month of April. Yesterday, before the game, he was averaging 39.9 points a game. Then he drops 49 or 53. He goes off. Yeah, he could be an MVP. I still think it's Jokic. Embiid was my front runner, but then
what about Steph though? I mean, dude, I've been
that's
seeing
what I'm saying.
all
I
sorts
think
of
he
people
could
blow
be.
Steph up. He's been going absolutely crazy. He just actually, I think, took the lead for most points per game this year, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I think he could be MVP. But I still like Jokic. I think Embiid, him getting hurt for that small amount of time hurt his MVP discussion. But I really like Jokic to win it. But Steph, the way he's been playing this month, could more than definitely win the MVP. And a lot of people say, he's the greatest point guard of all time. He's not. He's the greatest shooter ever. Don't get that wrong. But he's not the
I
greatest
can get
pure
behind that.
point guard. And
who is the greatest point guard of all time?
I don't want to speak on that yet, but I would
It's
say
got to be Magic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say Magic, but a lot. Like if you say John Stockton,
Well, hold on. But before you get in, let me ask you this: who's the greatest point guard that has HIV of all time?
Well, we don't know.
That one's got to be Magic.
I mean, have you seen Steph's wife? She's not. Oh, never mind. But LaMelo Ball's back. What do you think of that? That's your boy.
Yeah, LaMelo.
And that's your team.
Yeah, that's my team. As the the listeners know, I'm a born again Hornets fan, and LaMelo's back. This guy, he's officially won Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. Nobody else is a good rookie this year. And again, I don't watch basketball. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But LaMelo is back, Rookie of the Year. Charlotte's going to probably win out here and get the 1 seed. And I would say win the finals. I mean, that's how basketball works, right?
Something like that. But
no, but it's good to see the kid back. I mean, again, was putting up big time numbers. And then, I think it was a wrist injury, right?
Yeah. And keep going. My bad.
Yeah, I was just saying he had that wrist injury, and then they were saying he was going to be out for the whole year. And then there's something in that ball blood. I don't know if LeVar was injecting him with stem cells. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that, but going to be back way sooner than people thought. Going to make a run, and obviously Rookie of the Year. So that's my take on LaMelo coming back.
I can respect that, but I don't have too much to say about him. Did you see Zion Williamson release his new shoe?
Yeah, I did see that. How many did he release? He released like 10 of them, didn't he?
No, he released 4. He released 4. There's 4 colors. It's 1 shoe. It's a Zion 1.
Okay.
And,
I don't fuck with them, but
we posted some pictures of it on Instagram, and we will have that link in the description, like I said. But he released 4 colors. It's through Jordan. So I mean, he's an elite company. Only like 5-6 guys ever to have shoes through Jordan, like Russell Westbrook. But yeah, I think
he's kind of a bum though, isn't he? I thought Zion was kind of like one of those guys.
I mean, he's not a bum. Let's not disrespect him, man. But I don't fuck with Zion. That was your boy. Hey, my boy. For the record, when he had his year in college, the entire year I was telling you, Ja Morant will be. We had this discussion entire year. Ja's last year in college and Zion's only year. We had this discussion that Ja would be better.
Well, listen, and I'm man enough to admit I was wrong on that. And I'm going to look right here into the camera, and I'm going to tell everybody I am not an NBA fan, but what I am a fan of is college basketball. And all I do is I sit there, and I was watching Duke games. Obviously, Michigan State beat them that tournament, but I was sitting there, and I was just listening to these guys fucking clamor on about Zion. He's like, oh, he's going to do so great in the NBA. And I'm just like a sponge. I take that in and I spew it out somewhere else. So that was on me. I'm not pointing fingers at the announcers, even though it 100% is the announcers. It's not my fault whatsoever. But again, I was wrong. So I will admit to that. That was a good call by you. You were probably one of the few people that were calling Zion to be a bust. I guess if that's
let's not say he's a bust. He's just not what people said. No. He's to be determined. Some people are saying he's injury prone, this and that, but we'll say to be determined. But it's not to be determined. And you lost this money right here. Your Toronto Maple Leafs lost.
Oh, I knew it.
You lost this money, bro.
This is a rough episode for me. This was a rough episode for me. This was bullshit, though. I mean, you got a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs, and for the people who don't watch hockey, the Leafs are one of the best teams in the league right now. They have, as it stands right now, they're actually second in points, and it's the stupidest thing in the world. You have the Canucks, who I don't know the total time off, but it was, I want to say it was around 3 weeks off. The entire team gets fucking COVID, and still half the team is out with COVID. They had like a fucking janitor playing their second line defense. And the Leafs going into that game are minus 435 straight up money line. And that is fucking absurd if anyone knows hockey. Because again, hockey is one of those sports, anything can happen. And so to be minus 435 is absurd. And we took the minus 1.5, the goal line, and we got fucking killed on it. Not only did we get killed on it, the Canucks win. The Canucks won that game. They go into overtime with the Leafs. This is just a classic example of the Leafs being the Leafs. I mean, this is exactly why the Leafs are never going to do great things ever again. You lose to the Canucks. And the poor Canucks, too. I mean, you got to imagine they're not focused on just today. Oh, by the way, they play the Leafs again today at 9 Eastern. And, oh, shit, my phone's going down. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So the Leafs again playing the Canucks here, and I'm going right back at it. That now I think Vegas maybe learned a little bit of their lesson. They put the Leafs at still minus 300, but not nearly as crazy. And I'm going right back at it. We're going minus 1.5. We already locked that in. There's no way this happens twice. No fucking way this happens twice. So if I get beat on it twice, I get beat on it twice. That's just sometimes how it goes. But locking that in. And again, the craziest thing is, too, the Canucks, to finish out the season, they play 19 games in 32 days. That is grueling for hockey. So other than that, I mean, that's all I got for hockey. I mean, is there anything hockey-wise?
I got a question for you because I've been watching a lot of puck. I think they are arguably the worst team, but do you think the Sabres or the Canucks are the worst team? I mean, I know
it's got to be the Sabres.
Yeah, but Jack Eichel gives them like a little bit of hope, and at least they're playing American teams. I know it's different this year.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just so different this year. It's so hard to judge teams because you're only playing the same few teams. Like
I totally agree.
Like next year, one of these teams could be insane. We don't know. It's just COVID.
No, that's a good point, man. I mean, if I had to pick, I would say, fuck. But you're right. I mean, the Sabres, they're playing the Bruins constantly, the Flyers. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, then you have the Canucks that beat up on those shitty Canadian teams, even the Leafs, evidently. And so I don't know. I would say that's kind of up in the air. But fuck, next year I think we'll see. We're going to see the true colors of a lot of teams next year. That's for sure. But yeah, again, I don't have a ton to talk about NHL here. I actually don't really have too much else to talk about other than, of course, the LaFleur of the week. But before we jump into that, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, since it's 420, we got to say, who's the biggest stoner in sport? I was going to go Michael Phelps because, like, when I'm not saying the biggest stoner as in, okay, it's just your own criteria. Let's just say that. It's just your own criteria. I'm saying Michael Phelps because I think he smokes a lot. I think he smokes every day. And look at him. He's the GOAT. He's the Olympian GOAT. But a lot of people say Ricky Williams. I can respect that. I would just say Michael Phelps.
Yeah, and so when you say Michael Phelps, are you talking about just in his prime, or are you talking about right now, just on his day-to-day basis?
Oh, I'm saying overall.
Because overall, so I got two. I'm going to throw two at you. The big one is, and I had to look this up because I heard this a long time ago, and I was like, "There's no way that's fucking real," but I am looking it up right now. It is true, and it's going to be Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he's
Mike Tyson. I heard that he smokes $40,000 of weed at his ranch every single month, which to me is fucking mind-blowing. But other than Mike Tyson, I gotta say Josh Gordon. I mean, this guy has fumbled the bag so many times just because he can't stay off the weed. You gotta, I mean, seriously, dude, just fucking for a couple of years, just stop smoking weed. And I bet Mike Tyson could quit before fucking Josh Gordon. I mean, it's saying a lot, but there's two different guys in that sense. So I think Mike Tyson or Josh Gordon takes the cake for me.
Yeah, well, yours make more sense, but Michael Phelps is arguably the GOAT who smokes weed.
He's like the GOAT of smoking pot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess let's just jump into the LaFleur of the week. And I already know who yours is going to be because I know you lost a couple bucks on this one. So I'm just going to pass it right to you first. Tell me who your LaFleur of the week is.
Yeah, man. Ben Askren, you motherfucker. I was rooting for you so hard. I don't even want to talk about the Jake Paul fight because that makes my blood boil. I hate that motherfucker. He does not respect the sport. He needs to fight a real boxer. But Ben Askren, I know you're old. I know you don't really box. I know you're known for wrestling. I've been following you. But here's the thing. If you're going to do a boxing match and you take your shirt off and I see a dad bod and I see the other guy, it's acceptable if you both got dad bods. That's fine. But if I see you got a dad bod and this other kid is in his prime young, I knew I lost the fight when I saw that. I knew I lost my money. It looked like he wasn't even fucking training. And here's another thing. He could, like, the whole world was rooting for him. He could have really like worked and tried to like make a decent fight, but to go out like that in the first round, you got to do better.
Yeah, and so I actually have, before I get into my LaFleur of the week, you know, you talk about a guy who, you know, he takes your shirt off and he's got a dad bod and you're playing some guy who's ripped. How soon did we forget the Andy Ruiz Jr. knockout against, I forget the guy's name, but I think he was from somewhere in the UK. But, you know, it was that infamous heavyweight fight, big dude. And I think with boxing, you know, you can be a little bit bigger, but again, no excuse. It just didn't look like he was even training at all. He kind of came out there and he was just slow and he just wasn't really doing much for me out there. And again, I actually somewhat like Jake Paul. I was able to win some money. Shout out Josh if you're listening. And yeah, so I was a little bit happier with the results. So I can't put Ben as my LaFleur of the week, but what I can put as my LaFleur of the week is, and it's not a person, but it's rather a thing, and it's the Super League. And so this has been blowing up all over social media right now. And it's to me, and again, I'm not going to sit here and claim like I know soccer or what the heck's going on with soccer, but evidently it's the elite teams within, you know, the soccer world, and they're creating the Super League where they essentially just are all going to play each other for the main championship. And again, I'm not really sure exactly what's going on, but within the last 24 to 48 hours since this thing was even conceived, teams are already dropping out of it. And it looks like this thing's on its last legs already. So the Super League going to be quicker than Kim K's last marriage. So for that, you're my LaFleur of the week. But other than that, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to touch on in the pod today?
Yeah, just giveaways on Twitter, draft giveaways. Follow us on Twitter's link in the description if you don't know our Twitter by now. At Bad Beats Podcast, at Locked In Bets. We will be doing a giveaway. If you can guess the top 10 draft picks in order with the teams correctly, we'll give you $50. And yeah, that's all I got. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good thing to say.
Oh, and leave
then,
calls, motherfucker. Hold on, leave calls. Then again, the number for it is 702-530-6381.
Perfect. No, I love it. And just keep it out on our Twitter for the draft, just because we're going to be doing a lot of fun shit too. We're obviously going to be doing that main draft giveaway, and then who knows, we might be doing some other shit too. And so keep an eye out for that. But other than that, we're super excited for the next episode. We got a lot to talk about with the draft. I got some sleepers that are going to fucking blow you away. These guys are guaranteed money makers. You guys know how it was with the Masters. I would like to say I did a pretty good job at finding the sleeper there. So definitely keep an eye out for what's to come. But other than that, follow us on the socials and peace out, guys.